First, while it may seem like we've been in a final push for months now, Labor Day traditionally marks the home stretch of the campaign season. The stakes are high, and so is the intensity. You see it on TV, the internet, billboards, even some clothes. There was a time when campaigns relied on a simpler form of messaging, the classic campaign button. As Michelle Fiore discovered, for one Sheboygan County man, those shiny buttons with slogans and names long ago sparked an idea.
I hope this hobby doesn't die out.
Carl Toepel's got quite a collection in his Howards Grove home.
I wish I would have counted them. Yeah, just too many. It was like eating popcorn.
Toepel's excited to show off his lifetime hobby. Multiple frames take up his entire dining room table for our interview. It's only a small part of the thousands of items this political enthusiast has acquired over the years. Buttons dating back to the Republican National Convention in San Francisco in 1956. This is Toepel as a doorkeeper that year at age 17.
People were wearing buttons, and I thought, oh, this is neat.
And so it began.
Well, some people collect stamps, some people collect coins, some people collect postcards, and I was just, I think the word would be infatuated with the buttons. And I could hardly go past something without, oh, I need some.
Name a president in the last century, and Toepel likely has a button with his face on it. The assortment includes door passes and tickets to national conventions, pictures taken at those conventions, and bumper stickers, candidates who were elected and ones who lost the race.
Favorite buttons? I like Ike, Nixon and Eisenhower, and then probably Ford, because he was the only unelected president, although he was the nominee in 1976.
The Howards Grove resident acquired much of his collection, attending nearly every national convention for the Republican Party since 1956, as a delegate, alternate delegate, or guest.
Years ago, the Democratic and Republican headquarters would have buttons free. Oh, but that has all changed. In fact, where are campaigns putting their money now? Media. They want to advertise on your channel rather than sending Carl a button.
Toepel's preserved these memories, keeping some and giving some away. Utah Senator Mitt Romney wrote back, thanking him for a meaningful donation. Quote, the bumper stickers, newspaper articles, and pins from my father's presidential campaign recall very fond memories. Toepel even started collecting campaign memorabilia from U.S. senators. All of that he and his family donated to the Smithsonian National Museum in Washington, D.C. Closer to home, the Toepels gave many election collectibles to places they believe would treasure them. You can see part of Carl's collection for yourself. He and his wife Marilyn donated part of it to the Meade Public Library here in Sheboygan, and they keep adding to it. This one here is the latest. Over the years, Toepels met 11 U.S. presidents, often at political rallies.
Milwaukee has Summerfest. Well, in Plains, Georgia, they have the Peanut Fest. And President and Mrs. Carter were in the parade. Then they'd sit on the sidelines, sign books.
Sometimes he didn't have to travel too far to get there.
And we were walking down Wisconsin Avenue, and believe it or not, here comes Ronald Reagan.
And it's not just Republicans.
I met John Kennedy in the Student Union building in Oshkosh when I was a student. We waited an entire morning to meet President Clinton and Helmut Kohl. And it rained, and we got wet.
Toepel's in his 80s now. Standing in line for hours like that is no longer an option. But the love he has for politics rages on. And even now, this summer, Toepel served as an alternate delegate in Milwaukee.
I love Wisconsin, and Milwaukee is really our future. I'm happy that it was such a happy event.
Milwaukee was Toepel's 13th RNC. And like his ambition to meet presidents from both parties, his collection is not just Republicans.
This is bipartisan. I believe I'm an American first and then a party member. The collection has Democrats and Republicans. And how did I get them all? Either through stopping at headquarters, going to APIC national conventions, and especially buying some of the older ones, which now have become more valuable.
APIC stands for American Political Item Collectors. The group's been a great asset. It's where he found one of his prized possessions, this button from the 1896 presidential election.
With the membership, we get a monthly bandwagon of what buttons are for sale, trade, where the political shows will be.
A chance for political junkies to buy, sell, and trade.
And it's like going to the state fair. Instead of seeing displays there, it's all buttons.
But APIC is also a place for friendship. Toepel may have a lot of buttons, but those relationships are what keep him coming back.
But through the hobby, I met most interesting people in both parties who love our country and love political history. They look at the button as a tiny piece of history.
And Toepel's even preserved his own history on a button from when he served as a Sheboygan alderman. A button crush started in his teens that's grown into love for his country, politics, and fellow American history fans.
We've gotten to many cities, and it's been quite a ride.